So create is at top. So when we start thinking about higher order thinking, it's how can we get kids creating? It's how do we take that classroom from what we always do to innovation, to taking it that next step forward. And if kids aren't up and doing, they're probably on the bottom half of this pyramid. So before we go on to an activity, let's talk about the bottom half of the pyramid, because one of the things that we often hear is, but the kids need to know basic facts. Any math teachers in here? Okay, all right. I would never try an argument with any of you guys about basic facts. Not just math teachers, but anybody. Because there are foundational pieces that absolutely have to be mastered before the kids can ever get to the highest level of learning. And I don't know all of your principals, I don't know all of your AIW leaders, but it is absolutely unrealistic to say everything has to be in hot. Okay? So in your thoughts, what percentage of instruction or activities should be in higher order thinking? A strategy I love is called wait time.
If I was looking at the pyramid, let's see, there's 6 levels about the same thing. So if you're doing the volume, it's probably whatever.
I was going to say, math guy, I'm going to get him a ruler. He's going to get this to the precisely.
What percentage that little triangle on top is?
10%? 20%? Okay, I'm not saying, oh, well, there's an answer. Bloom's called me the other day and said, hey, make sure you tell them. There's no answer. I mean, and it will look different in different classes. All right? How often should we engage kids with higher order thinking in our classes? So we shift that question and change it from how often should a task be higher order, how often should instruction, how often should kids engage in your individual class? How often do they?
Well, it's scary if we actually collected data to show it.
I think back to my classroom, and I feel sorry for every one of my former students. I thought I was good. I thought I could knock it out. But having gone through AIW and now having the opportunity to observe teachers in walkthroughs or classroom visits or through scoring tasks and instruction, there are some fantastic things going on. But in your head, if you have that percentage, like, once every 2 weeks, now take that times 8. Because typically we all have 8 class periods. Are our kids challenged enough? When we talk about engaging kids, it's about making sure that they're pressed and stressed, but in a good way. And there's always that piece of stretch learning. If you imagine a rubber band around my hands, and the more I push up this way, those bottom kids, those SPED kids, those ELL kids, they're going to come. They might push against me, but sooner or later, there's going to be no give left and they're going to have to rise to it. Okay? So those are the kids, those are the things that we have to think about when we're talking about engaging with higher order thinking. If I do it once every 2 weeks, I have to start doing it twice every 2 weeks. I have to challenge myself to what I do. But before I can do that, I have to thoroughly know what higher order thinking is. So, there are 5 tables, and on each one of your tables, you have a baggie. And in that baggie, there are the 6 levels of Bloom's Revised Taxonomy, and then a bunch of verbs. Something you've always done, something you've always liked. We're just starting an activity, so if you guys want to just join the table, just for now, and then put your stuff down and oversee it. So you have remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, and create. So take the smaller slips and start categorizing each one. I have the answer sheet, but I will guarantee you this, there will be some that can go on both. So when you have the ones that you say, this could be evaluate or create, have that conversation. Ask yourselves, why can this be both?
Yeah.
Change.
Change. Understand it, to change it at least. Plan.
Well, we're short on the apply.
Decide. Evaluate. I don't
Have
know.
brainstorm.
Propose.
Apply it to
Interview.
approve it.
Okay. Oh, here's apply. Plan.
Apply would go to apply.
That goes there.
That's what I had one that said apply too. So there's some double, some of the words are double now.
Okay, do two more.
Brainstorm.
I would say that's
Identify.
We have a lot under the bottom.
that would be like
One for everybody.
Oh, we get to look at it now. Awesome. Oh, thank you.
prepared to be embarrassed.
I get to be the hero just because I have the papers.
Okay, so for remember,
Oh, Josh.
we need no.
Thank you.
No is down here, where's no?
It's down there.
Understand, no goes down here under remember.
Really?
Yep.
Even like specify.
Fine. Memorize, memorize would be remember. Repeat, we have that. Record. Do we have record? We don't have record. Word record?
Where is it? Oh, it's up here.
Oh.
Formulate.
Right, so I think arrange can be, depends on class.
I'll say it's the first 10 words on each column. Or each box.
So, yeah, you're asked, that's do too.
Define, we had and understand it. Here.
Well, if you're just defining a word, I mean, so you're just remembering what the definition is.
But if you have to match that. Come up with your own definition, it's different. Or apply it to.
Some of these can be intermixed, yeah, you're like, yeah, how
I still say you have to understand the meaning in order to.
Yeah, but it depends on how it is, you know, like if you just have to write the meaning and not understand it,
Right.
you know, then it's just a memorizing. So
that's
just kind of depends.
They have a range of analyze too.
So because
Talked about how.
All right, one more minute, we'll have a conversation about the process.
We had arrangement.
Analyze.
Not in alphabetical order.
Let's talk about what we just did. Now, without a doubt, if I was a principal and I walked into this room, I would say, wow, these kids are engaged. Everybody was compliant. There was nobody up and around. You know, I mean, you guys were fantastic. You guys were communicating back and forth. There was dialogue happening. But let's talk about the process. What were you doing? Okay, they were analyzing at that table. How about you guys? Look at some of the words that are on the table or on that sheet. What were you guys doing? Okay, understanding.
Matching, rating, grading.
Describing. So is it safe to say that every individual and every table was at a different place? All right. So now, why is that? Okay, we all teach different things. Okay, are there any middle school teachers in here? Any elementary school teachers? Any high school teachers? Any teachers? All right. One of our other assistants just walked in. So, we're coming with all kinds of different background knowledge. But yet, earlier when I said, hey, who knows Bloom's taxonomy? I had everybody go, I do. Right? But it's not something that we use every day. Purposefully. Okay? These verb sheets are fantastic. You know how it is when you see one of those online, you're like, ooh, I got to bookmark this page. I'm going to come back to this. I'm going to plan lessons just for this verb list. Oh, these are just fantastic. If I can get my kids just to compose, plan, propose, produce, invent, I'm going to be so excited. Okay? We have to be purposeful when we do that. So think of this activity. Okay, what I heard you guys say is there was a lot in the apply, analyze. What tweaks could I have done to this lesson to take it to higher order thinking, to take it to create?
Maybe if we had to come up with our own verbs to put
Okay.
under each.
That's exactly what I was
She stole yours, didn't she? So what if I just handed you, just having heard, for many of you that Bloom's taxonomies has been revised 14 years ago, that you're going to create your own verbs for each one of these. Would that have raised some of that anxiety? Like, ooh. And if I would have said, and I need 10 of those? Okay. Because we are in that place where we all want to know whether we're right or wrong. The first thing you guys did when we started handing out these sheets was checking. Right? The second thing everyone started to do was moving the verbs. What we need to do is argue and make conversation on why I put contrast in create. If I'm an art teacher, I might say contrasting is create. So it's about taking that conversation and being purposeful about what we do. It's about keeping that sheet, that beautiful tree, right in front of us so that we always know how can we take it to that next level.